So go ahead, hit refresh. We should be ready to go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. As the tune starts to bloom for the fat sack of. Okay. Microphone over here. Microphone over here. Should have some pretty decent sound. All right. So the question I asked today on IG is and on YouTube was a simple but yet profound question. Is there a song playing? There better not be a song playing. Let me make sure that there's no song playing because I don't. Is there a song playing here? No, it's not a song playing. That's weird. Okay. All right. I get kind of freaked out sometimes because with all these different systems going, I'm doing the job of 13 people over here. So bear with me while we get started. Huh? Okay. All right. I get kind of freaked. All right. Now I'm getting double sound. So we're gonna do. Let's mute that microphone because that doesn't sound quite right. Let me make sure the mics are in. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Make sure the sound. Yeah, sometimes sound. So we're gonna do. Let's mute that microphone because that doesn't sound quite right. Let me make sure the. All right, there we go. So we'll test this microphone. That mic's not hot. All right, so let's get into it. All right. The engagement needs to be up over 50%. We're good with that, so let's get into it. The question of the day was, why are modern women so angry? And this is a question that needs to be answered. It needs to be answered in the biggest way because I personally do not understand why modern women are so angry. I mean, you're the most educated group of women there's ever been. You have more rights, more freedoms, more than anything else in anybody in the world. But yet, it seems as though it's not good enough. I watch a lot of content, read a lot, and to stay up on what's going on. And what I've noticed is that when women are allowed to critique men, it's just fine. But when a man even offers a solicited critique of a woman, the world loses its mind. And you got to ask yourself a question. Why? What's the problem? What's the issue? Frozen? Okay, what's going on here? All right, well, boy, I tell you, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. Do, do. Just a second, people. All right. Well, we got power. All right. We're at 13%. So here we go. We're good. Let's get into it. Power's up. Source is up. Oh my God. There we go. Technical difficulty. There it is. Good. We'll stay right there. All right. I asked a question on Instagram. I asked a question on Instagram. I asked a question on Facebook. I asked it on YouTube. And I said, why are modern women so angry? I even asked the question, are modern women angry? Before just jumping into it and assuming that everybody was seeing the same thing, I said, are modern women angry? Of the women that answered, 3,100 responses, okay? 3,100 votes for women. 80% of women said, yes, ladies today are happy. Are not happy. I asked the question, ladies, are women today happy? 80% of women surveyed said women today are not happy. Now, this isn't scientific. Then I asked the same question to the guys. And of the guys, we had a little over 6,500, 6,700 votes. Men, gentlemen, are modern women happy? 93% of men, 93% of almost 7,000 men said women today are unhappy. Hold on. That's crazy. That is crazy. When we have almost 90% of women ranking as unhappy. Well, what are men supposed to do about this? What are men supposed to do? What's the difference, ladies? Trick question. Okay. It's not a trick question. It's a real question. The question is, if men believe 9 out of 10 men asked say women are not happy, but ladies, 8 out of 10 of you said you're not happy either. Well, whose responsibility is it to address this phenomenon? Whose responsibility is it to address this phenomenon? But here's a question. I went on to Instagram and I asked on Instagram. I didn't just leave it at yes or no. On Instagram, let's pull up some of the responses. Answers. Fear. Because they want everything their way and are insulted by the idea of compromise. Modern women are so angry because the utter harshness of objective reality. Truth hurts. Lack of fathers. Raised on Disney. Not enough facts of life. We love you. Thank you. Because they feel the rules don't apply to them, but reality shows are otherwise. It's because of blank. Bitter. Because they want more than they logically deserve and can never get it. Because they have taken unnatural roles in society. Another person just shrugged his shoulders. Guys, ladies, if 9 out of 10 men say you're unhappy, and 8 out of 10 women say you're unhappy, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about this, ladies? Because this is your responsibility. This is how men experience the rank and file woman today. Let me say this again. This is how men experience you. But before you get upset and start claiming misogyny, misogynoir, bashing, and all this other stuff, you need to also remember this. 80% of women said the same thing. 80% of women experience other women the same way. Now notice, I didn't ask if women were happy with men. I didn't ask if women were happy with their job. I just said, when you wake up in the morning, are you freaking happy? And the reality is, the rank and file woman today is miserable. So I got to ask a question. Why? Because you have more money, more education, more freedom. Never in the history of the world have women had more freedom to choose the course or path of your life. Never. There has never been a woman more free, more educated, more protected, more safe than the modern Western woman, in America in particular. Then why is happiness through the floor? See, you hear all these terms like patriarchy and misogyny and this and that, but you know what? If you ask the rank and file woman 70 years ago, were women happier? You're going to get numbers better than 80%. You're going to get most people saying that women were happier. Ladies, why are you so unhappy? That's number one. And number two, whose responsibility is it to fix? Because you are your own responsibility right now. You're unattached. Many women today are not married. So why is the happiness down? Could it possibly be those old school, patriarchal, hardcore traditional systems that rough, tough, bad old grinchy men made actually improve your standard of life? Because if you were happier, if previous generations of women were happier, why not? You can't say when the world is more evolved and more civilized. See, the funny thing about the human mind is this: when we're left alone, if we're left alone to do our own things, we sort things out pretty well. Assortative mating. The hot people tend to get with the hot people. The attractive people tend to get with the attractive people. The average people tend to get with the average people, and the below average people get with the below average people. And everybody's cool with that. But it's when we come in and try to upside down the system and tell everybody that we're all equal and you should get equal outcomes. And this is when the world gets absolutely insane. And it seems as though the more you get, the less happy you are, ladies. Why is this important? Because the backlash and firestorm off of that viral video is still going on. I look across social media and I see women of all stripes acting like they have lost their ever-loving mind because one man had the nerve to give an opinion of which he was asked for. I wasn't just asked. She damn near begged me to give her my opinion, and I did, free of charge. And women are losing their mind. One of the reasons why I think women today are unhappy, personally, I think it lies a lot in what I do. I think personally that women today are so unhappy is because you lack humility. And humility is an accurate estimation That's all it is. Humility is just understanding, an accurate estimation. That's truly what it means to have humility, to know that you are average at best. People with humility know that. But what have you heard women say overall? That woman rated herself too low. She should have rated herself higher. Almost every woman that came to the defense of the woman in the video came at me and told her she should have rated herself higher, irrespective of objective reality. Therein lies so many modern women's issue. Frustration, upset, anger tends to happen when expectation does not meet up with reality. Many women said that she should have rated herself higher. I think she was it. How many times have you heard women call in? I rank myself a 10 out of 10. I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm a 10 out of 10. All right. Well, let's just say for the sake of argument. Let's just say for the sake of freaking argument. Okay. Let's just say that the woman who rated herself a 5 or 6 when she was done up, let's just say that she didn't use my scale. And let's say she used her own scale. All right. Then who is average? If she would rank Beyonce a 10 and her an 8, somebody still has to be a 5. And therein lies the problem. Many of you don't want to deal with where you are. So you come up with reasons, the toxic masculinity, the patriarchy, the this, the that, the that, the that. The mirror is an objective thing. It reflects back what it gets. It doesn't change anything. And we're getting to the point now to where we're getting so far off where if you even dare to speak a truth that you were asked, you will be destroyed. Ladies, this is not going to make you happier. Men not telling you the truth is not going to make you happier. I think, honestly, it's the opposite. I think men have been lying for you for too long. I think you've had too many pander bears and too many people telling you what you want to hear. Yep. I think all the people that keep calling you queens and divas and also all the people that keep doing this.
Circus, Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
Got no men to put you in front of. Period. Because men are logical. And men are not going to pay a higher price that they can honestly say, I'm not going to pay above average price for average. Men just won't do it. So ladies, 2 tracks. Women are massively unhappy today by women's estimation and men's estimation. And I think at the core of one of this is because we have taken away rankings. We have taken away rankings, taken away ratings. You can't judge a woman on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't judge a human being on a scale of 1 to 10. All right. Well, my question, ladies, is this. Who should rank women? Who should? Who's right? Because I will tell you this. When you ladies, it has been my experience that women are horrible. Absolutely horrible at ranking each other today. Modern women are horrible at ranking each other. It hasn't always been this way. Back in the days when we had Miss America and beauty pageants and homecoming queens, and before everybody got a trophy, women were pretty damn good at ranking themselves. That's why the hot people got with the hot people, above the attractive people got with the attractive people, the cute or good looking people got with them, the average people got average, and below average got below average. You didn't have below average people you didn't have people trying to make the below average girl homecoming queen just to virtue signal and make everybody feel good. The hot girl got to be homecoming queen because that's the natural order of things. Because, like it or not, many women today have an inflated estimation of who they are. Lacking humility, meaning you look at yourself and you see a dime piece. And you go out on the marketplace and men see a 2-piece. If you think you're a dime piece and the men think you're a two piece, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. And you got folks running around here telling you, don't lower your price. Don't lower your price. Keep it way up there. Keep it way up there. And then you keep on running out and going to school. And
this is the remix. The PhD.
Like, if you have a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
This is the remix.
You keep going out and tacking on degree after degree, after this, after that, filler after this, blah, blah, and getting tangible stuff, things that you think should matter, and ignoring the simple stuff. Well, guess what? Over here, I'm telling women, here's the thing, 2020 is as pretty as possible. Whereas as fit as you can get and as pretty as possible. That's right. On top of your PhD, your law degree, medicine, whatever, I don't care. You can be a rocket surgeon or brain scientist for NASA. And you still need to be as fit as you can get and as pretty as possible. Because men are not going to change. Men are still ranking you, whether men are saying it or not. I was watching Jubilee. And I get so tired of watching stuff like this where they'll have feminists on one side and then men's rights over here. And they have the most mealy mouth, jelly back, weak men trying to debate with feminists. Jubilee, put me in this mother sucker. You want some views? Put me against the feminists. Intermission. Let's get this money up. Get these likes up.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el putín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve.
We're about to open the call line. Let's see what we got going on. Oh man, we don't even have the likes up over 1,000. Oh man, we got to get the likes way up.
Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work.
Oh, let me help this chick out.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Bye.
Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú
Moderators.
me ves solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un
Time out
interés.
any of these crazy people talking about the best from anything else. None of that time, no time for that. Come on. Again, it's only a problem. It's only a problem if you're outspoken.
Money work, de corazón.
He shouldn't be saying these kind of things. We've got right to reason to be angry and unhappy. It ain't our fault. Cool, ain't nobody said it was. Nobody gonna put up with it though. Especially not men who've had to work to get to the next level. Luna, don't go get some freaking incel and some guy, I'm just really trying to understand, and a guy with a thick accent. Put somebody up there who can sit there and look him in the face and say, like it or not, you're a 3. Well, I feel, just go watch that. Feminist versus men's rights. Just look at the language that was used. The women were angry and aggressive. The men were timid and weak. And women have seen this over and over again. But none of those women looked happy. Even the one that said she was married. What is all this getting you, ladies, if it's not increasing your overall outcomes? What's happening here? If it's not increasing your overall outcomes, what is it doing? That's what I really want to know. What is it doing? One of the biggest issues I've seen with the video that I made is women. This is a familiar refrain. That woman should not have gone to that man to get an evaluation. She should have evaluated herself. That is stupid. Show me an attorney who represents himself, and I'll show you an attorney who has a fool for a client. This is what you are being told by women, ladies. Don't go to a man, even a professional qualified man, to get an estimation of your actual level of attractiveness to the very man you say you want. All right, then. Cool. Because I've been raked up one side and down the other. All right, then who should do it? And I tell you, go watch these videos, and guess who you're going to see on the screen? The bunch of the eternal sevens, the queens of average. They're the ones that have the most to say. And here's the thing. You can make all the sassy comments and say all you want, but the reality is 9 out of 10 of you know, and 9 out of 10 men know, and 8 out of 10 women know modern women today are unhappy. And you can say what you like, ladies, but you know that the kind of man that you want is ranking you. And you just simply don't like what you really qualify for. You want a Mercedes and you qualify for a Honda Accord. See, it used to be when somebody made Honda Accord money and had, and made $75,000, $80,000 home money, that they were good with that. They were proud of that. That's what they aspired to. They were proud of their Accord and their $80,000 home. But you know what? When the housing bubble happened, I was one of the few people that around me that I knew that did not get into it because I saw it was a bubble economy. I saw people who knew they were making $40,000 a year and knew that combined with them and their spouse, that all they could afford was a $100,000 home. I saw people who knew their credit rating, their income, their debt to income ratio, all the numbers. But because somebody came along with magic beans telling them you can get a mansion, they went and did it because they saw everybody else doing it. Study Tulip Awande and study what happened in the Netherlands when people lost their mind over tulips. People went along and did it. They raised their values to keep up with the Joneses. Honestly, for the people who didn't get involved in this, you were almost made to feel like you were crazy. What? You're not going to go out and get a mansion for just you and yourself? Yeah, I need to go get a 30-room mansion because I have a great debt to income ratio. I don't need all that. You need to know where you rank, ladies. You need to know where you rank. Going into 2021, if you want to have a better outcome, you need to be able to understand how the world sees you. Pause. Scratch that. Scratch. You need to know how men see you. You need to know how men see you. That's right. Because unless these women who keep telling you, don't worry about it, got some men in their back pocket for you, as long as you plan on one day wanting to get married and have kids, you better understand how the men that you want see you. Because I'm going to tell you this. Oh, shit. Let's go. Shout out to Obsidian. Shout out to my boy Obsidian Media Network. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson too. That brother has done a hell of a job. Shout out to the Black Manosphere for coming through this year. Because like it or not, ladies, you better start listening to the men you say you want. You better start listening to men, period. Because like it or men, period. This is not a black issue. This is a Western issue. Men are saying, You got average men. Where's the average number? The median income for men, the median income for men in this country is roughly $52,000. And for black men, it's roughly $40,500. The net of it is there was $10,950 difference between what the average black man makes versus white men. For simple math, it's called $11,000. Let me show it to you. I'll show it to you. Show it to you better than I can tell you. How we doing today, people? Are we good? That's not. Let's go to blackdemographics.com. Let's do it here. So go to blackdemographics.com. I love blackdemographics.com. Great. Lots of good stats. And I think it's funny to now, I'm starting to hear women starting to go against the stats now. Well, how do we know who those stats are for? They could be an agent. Wow. When you got to start beating up on the stats, you've really lost the argument. You really lost the argument. If you got to start beating up on the stats. Blackdemographics.com, population, male statistics. There we go. Here 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 we go. There we go. Black men, all other men, $52,004. That's the worked full-time year-round, age 16 and up. $52,004. Let's call it $52,000. And for black men, it's $41,054. Sear that into your mind. Let's call it 52 and 41. 52 and 41. 52 for white men, 41 for black men. See, there's a misconception that just because they're the largest ethnic race in this country, that they're rich. Their average white man is making $52,000 a year. The average Hispanic man makes less than the average black man. And the average Asian man earns more than the average white man. But here's the question, ladies. The difference between what the average white man and the average black man makes is $11,000. So black men, what black women will really have you believe is if you make $11,000 more, you can start getting submission like white men. That's all you got to do. Make 11, go get a part-time job, and you can get the submission Brad gets. Game over. Good night. Thank you guys for showing up. That's the fix. Because with just an $11,000 increase, you should get femininity, submission, cooperation, whatever you like, $11,000. $11,000. Now, ladies, do you think if the average rank and file black man really believed it was as simple as making $11,000 more, that he could approximate the treatment of another race of men, how quickly do you think the rank and file brother would run out and go get a part-time job? What? I can get some cooperation, some act right for $11,000? Shit. Them Madden, them PlayStations and them Xboxes, all that stuff be put up with the quicks. Brothers be like, shit, I'm going to do it better. I got 12. I put an extra $1,000 on it because I like hot sauce on my brother come through with another 12,000 and be like, shoot, One minute she was rolling her neck and acting on her neck. Next thing you know, she is acting right, got a good attitude. That 80% out of wedlock number is starting to fall. That 80% overweight and obese number is starting to fall. You know, all the things that you hear a lot of guys complaining about, you know, the hair industry starting to experience bankruptcies and shortages. Whoa, we've seen an 85% reduction in yakking. Whole Foods start popping up all over the place because vegetables start getting cooked. I'm being facetious, but are we really? Because it's about money and resources, right? No, it's not. $11,000 difference. That's a lot different. Because at the end of the day, there's really not much men can do that's going to change whether or not women are happy if they're not dealing with reality. Now you got women calling men dusty who make more than they do, who are more educated, more accomplished. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So if you just have if you disagree with what some of these women saying, they can make a tenth of what you make. And they actually have the nerve to sit in judgment of you calling you dusty. Why? Because you're living in a land of fantasy, backed up by women talking to one another, telling each other everything's going to be all right in an echo chamber. But it's not changing your outcomes. Ladies, in 2021, if you find yourself going into places and echo chambers telling you what you want to hear, tickling your ears, you're going to waste another year. You're going to waste another year because what is not going to happen is men aren't going to just accept it. See, 50 years ago, George Jefferson Wheezy's no beauty queen, but she's average. He was average. Wheezy was happy to get George. But no, now Wheezy would actually think she deserves Denzel. And George wouldn't be good enough. Well, George at the end would have, but she wasn't going to work with George all the way up. And this is what's happening. The more you live in these bubbles, the more diluted you get, the higher your expectations become to where you're not even willing to get with a guy and build. So let me get this right. You ladies darn near want a man who's 6 foot tall, 6 figures or more, whatever the other 6 is, and you want him to love his mother, love pets, like your kid, not really adore you, be faithful, cook, clean, and everything else. It's the husband store. And you want him to have it by age 25. Modern women are frustrated and upset, unhappy because you are at odds with reality, and you've gotten to the end of the game. If you've ever played Monopoly before, everybody starts out with the same amount of money, and it just comes down to rolling the dice, going around the board, landing on property, making deals. But there comes a point in time in the game of Monopoly when people start losing. People start getting bankrupt. You land on something look, the older you get, the higher up you go, the less time you have and the fewer moves you have. Ladies, over 35, many of you are at the end.
Danger zone!
You've crossed from the danger zone into and the reality is there is no Prince, Akeem. There's no Wakanda. There is no fantasy at the end. There is no movie Hollywood ending. It's just alone, by yourself. And then you turn around and get upset with who? You can't be upset with the men. Because the men are dealing in reality. See, like it or not, The science of assortative mating says you know your lane. As an image consultant and image professional, I know that people truly know their lane. They may say they don't, but we have evolved to know our lane. Meaning, if you look through your life, there's a high end and a low end of what attracts you, approaches you, and is attracted to you. And people tend to get in their lanes from a look standpoint. Men can leap lanes with resources. Women cannot. Never has there been a time in history that women can leap lanes with resources. Women can only leap lanes with femininity, fitness, cooperation. And what's happening is guys who are average, everyday guys, like average, everyday Brad, not Brad, let's call him Brandon. See, Blake, Lee, Ahmed, Keith, and Enrique, the Henrys, they are above average men. But Brandon, he works at the plant. Brandon, he works, at the Purina mill. Brandon, he works as a postman. He's an average, everyday white guy. And Kenneth, average, everyday brother. He works right out there with Brandon. But the difference is Brandon's women are more realistic about what they are, because there is still a heavy emphasis on their bodies, their fitness, and their looks. Why is this important? Because Brandon is willing to get with a 5 or a 6, possibly even an eternal 7, but he does not expect to get an 8, 9, or a 10. And women, for the most part, understand that Brandon is their 8, 9, or 10. Why is there such a disconnect, especially in the Black community? You have women who really are expecting. You've been told you can have it all, but it's not working, ladies. Men are going to purchase a woman with what they have. If he's an average earner, he's going to get the best of the average women he can get. And there used to be a time that these women were still fit and cute and cooperative and friendly and feminine. Happy. They were happy. There was a lightness, a joy about these people. Now, that's been stripped, according to men, from 9 out of 10 of you. According to women, from 8 out of 10. So here's the question before we open the lines, ladies. If you're not good if women are horrible at ranking themselves, unhappy, what do you expect the rank and file men to do? If the shoe was on the other foot, if you expect men to accept that, if you flip the scenario, you would for sure be saying you wouldn't even say the woman is settling. You'd say she's dating down. Who wants to be with an average looking, unhappy woman? Most people are average, folks. I didn't make the math. Most people are average. Who wants to be with it? So are you unhappy? What are you going to do about it? Are you as fit as possible? What are you going to do about it? Are you as pretty as possible? What are you going to do about it? Because the end consumer, men, will not buy it. They would rather not buy. Because understand, You're asking someone, let's take it away from men and women. Man walks onto a lot and he sees a car and he's got the money and the credit to buy what he wants. So he's going to get the best deal possible for a brand new car because he's the only driver. He's got the highest warranty, all the bells and whistles and the perks and the highest level of service from 99% of the. He has top 1% benefits. You know, platinum level service. He has a flat tire, and they send a helicopter out to get this guy. That's how some people live. But then you got a guy who is working hard for his money, living paycheck to paycheck like most Americans. Had to save up his money. And he's going to buy a car. He wants the same kind of experience as this guy got, but he can't afford it. So he doesn't expect it, but he would like to have as close as possible. But what he does want is he does want a reliable vehicle that can get him to point A to point B, that he can be independent, live his life. A vehicle that he can be proud to drive, whether at work or around friends, something that he can trust, something he can depend on, reliable transportation. But he also would like that reliable transportation to ride good, the air conditioner, the amenities, the things like that to work. He doesn't want reliable transportation and inside you're sitting on a milk crate. He's going to get the best his money can buy. Now, if the man up here buying the 1% vehicles, the big body Benzes and the Beamers and all this other stuff, everybody wants their business. There are only a few of those. 50% of the market is with these guys. They got to make the car payment, whether they got a premium car or not. Do you honestly think that this man should go get a vehicle that's not going to meet his needs, not reliable, not dependable, and it's uncomfortable? You think he's going to work his butt off to have to make those car notes and payments and obligations and everything else? Because once he signs and takes it, he's responsible for it. If it breaks down or whatever, it's more money into it. That's how we think, ladies. Men are more apt to be like, forget it, I'll just Uber. I'll get a bicycle. I'll take the bus. I'll walk before I deal with the headache of getting into a bad car. Ladies, that's just a damn car. So we start talking about a wife, a mother of your children. If you wouldn't make a good car, how the hell you think you're going to make a decent wife? Hello. So don't get mad at men because men are going to shop around, compare, contrast, look at what the market's going to buy and decide I'm going to get the best I can afford, or if what I can afford doesn't meet my needs, I'll take mass transit. I'll take the subway. I'll carpool. Right? Ladies, want to hear from you. Why do you think women are so angry today? Because if 8 out of 10 of you say women are angry, why do you think women are angry? Why do you think women are angry? And what can be done about it? Because I'm best trying to explain to you that many of you have met your match and you've blown it. You had your guy early on. I'm going to release a standalone video of several conversations with women that I got to talk about before I open the call lines. Women in general, black women in particular, hear me and hear me well. Many of you won early. You found your husband, you got married early, and sadly, you believe the grass is greener on the other side. You got women out here telling you you got married too early. You didn't know what was out there. What was it? Tony Braxton saying that she wished she'd have slept around more in her 20s. What? You got women out here walking away from salvageable marriages, fixable marriages, because of jobs. Because they will actually think about what I just said. You got women who want to get married and would love to not have to work. And I talked to a woman who was divorcing a husband who wanted her not to work. Say that again. You got women out here wanting to get married and would love to marry a husband to where they did not have to work. And then on the other hand, you got women who got married early and are divorcing their husbands because their husbands did not want them to work and they want to work. How is a gender who thinks like that supposed to be happy with the other? That's what I'm saying. I don't really see what men can do unless women are ready to get self-aware, grateful, gratitude, humility, empathy, and self-awareness. If women aren't ready to deal with these things, men just gonna take the bus. Men gonna take the bus because it's honestly getting kind of crazy out here. To where even a man saying, I think you look average. Oh, no, excuse me. Saying, I agree with you. You look average. And that means he should be destroyed. I mean, you don't want to hear anything from men. That's clear. But who do you want to hear something from? One another? Ladies, if you don't plan on listening to men, what's the alternative? Is it marrying women, getting with women? Because where does this end? Because all that's happening is life is going on. You're getting older, and I don't get it. I don't get it. But let's talk about it. We're gonna open the call lines because I want to hear from the ladies. And again, if you have the detractors are always welcome to call. Only one rule. One, make sure your background noise is clear. And you can not like me all you want to. All I ask is you be nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Let's get it. People, let's see. How many people have lost their channels this week? 6 people have lost their channels this week for using my content. I'm not playing with y'all. When I say don't use my content, I mean it. Don't use my permission. 6 channels in 2 days. Now, and they were all channels that were monetized. Don't play. Let's see.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find no better one. Yeah. Susceptible.
Yeah, guys, I've had people deciding that they think they can just come to my platform and copy my content and do what they want to. I've got 2 people in federal court right now. So I'm letting you know, folks, I'm not playing with you. I think a lot of folks just think this is a game and they think that these videos are just what they want to. When you sign that YouTube form, you've got your information out there. I'm not going to say anything. Keep playing. Keep playing if you want to. Now, if you want to use my content, request permission. And if I grant it, cool. If not, I'll keep taking y'all's money. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. we're the only group of people that feel like that we can just, because black people, we have just no chill. It's like, I see it, I'll use it. Nah, you can't have that.
Yeah. Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te la ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón, la plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón, yeah. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Lunes. Lunático.
Don't have to be defensive about
I'm
it.
not being defensive.
Is there an issue here? All right, how y'all ladies doing tonight?
Fantastic. How you doing?
Have you guys ever watched my show before?
I've seen some.
Good, that's good. It's better that you don't. What's your first name?
My first name's India.
India.
Zena.
Zena. Marissa.
Nina.
Zena, Nina, Marissa, India. I'll forget that. But
Like Zena, Nina, like how you put it together.
yeah, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm a image consultant, life coach. But let's be honest, most people know me because I have a show where I talk about relationships and things like that. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24?
26.
26? 26?
22.
22. So nobody's even over 27. So none of y'all are in the danger zone. The danger zone is what I call the area between 27 and 35. That's the age where I think women need to focus like a laser on the outcomes they want in their life, because so much changes for women in that period. But is anybody married? Anybody have children? At the time when you turn 50 years old, what do you want life to look like for you personally? Personal life, not your money and travel and all that stuff. What you want your personal life to look like? Meaning your romantic relationships, children, where you're going to be, what are you going to be doing?
For me, ideally, I like to travel a lot, so I would like to be somewhere, warm, maybe in Spain.
With who?
With who? This is difficult. I don't really believe in marriage. I don't believe in marriage. So whatever happens, happens. I do believe in like adoption, so I would love to have kids.
You don't want to. You just don't want to give birth.
I don't mind giving birth.
So what I'm asking is, what do you want, not what do you mind?
Well, I feel like what I want changes all the time. So I go bit by bit, and I don't ever try to like keep myself in one little spot. Like this is what I want. This is what I'm always gonna want. Because I know when I'm 50, whatever I'm daydreaming about right now as a 24-year-old might change.
50. What does a personal life look like?
At home with my cats.
At home with your cats. Meow 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 meow
At
meow.
home with my cats, secure.
Secure meaning what?
Well, I guess would personal count as what I want with like my business?
Well, because if you secure with the cat, so any children?
No, I don't want children.
There's your cats living where?
Tokyo, Japan.
Okay. No. By 50 years old, what do you want your relationship life to look like?
I want to be somebody's bad 50-year-old wife. I want my kids to be grown by then. So
How old are you?
I'm 26, so I know
Okay.
I'm coming to the danger zone.
How many kids?
2, if I don't find, I always said I wanted 3, so I want 2, and if it's like not too much overload, if I could do a 3rd, I'll have 3.
So somebody's wife with 2 kids.
Grown kids. At 50.
Grown kids. What do you call grown?
Just 18, just out the house.
So
on their own.
So you're gonna have to start getting married and start having kids, because to do that by 50, you have to have your last child by 31 to be out of the house. Math. See, I'm big on math.
I'm kind of the same. I do want to be married with kids. I don't know if I necessarily want to retire here.
How many kids?
Probably about 2 or 3, not too many.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Which
it
one?
depends. Like I want a girl and a boy. So if I have a girl and a boy by 2.
And you want 2?
Well, I wanted 5, but like.
See, that's what I'm trying to add. I get it.
I want 3.
Okay.
But,
But you said you also want to be somebody's bad wife. Do you want to work?
Yeah, I want to work.
What percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime? Meaning you can't
Have to be.
Yeah, have to be.
Able to be.
Not able to. Not able to be. You got to get it. You got to make it. What percent do you want to have to be responsible for you, your children, your husband, everything?
I don't want to have to be. I want the man to be.
Okay, if you don't get married, if you don't get married,
If I don't get married,
what percentage of your financial load are you going to have to be responsible for?
I'm gonna have to be responsible
For 100%. Right. So when you get married, what percentage do you want to have to be?
I don't want either one of us to have to be responsible for all of it.
Still not an answer though. See, when I ask you if you don't get married, you're clear. When I ask about marriage, you can tell me you want to be somebody's bad wife or kids. When I ask you about the money, it gets real vague.
Right.
So what do you want to be? Honestly, what do you?
I want to be.
Do you want to have to
feel
work?
secure. I don't want to have to. No.
Okay.
I don't wanna
Okay.
have to,
So
but
then,
I want to do it.
but it doesn't matter if you want to. Do you? But if you don't, so this is the point about like the percentage you want to have to contribute. It impacts the family. So what impact do you want to have? Do you want your money to have on your children and the family?
Okay, I think I could kind of think of the answer now. Less than half, and I say less than half because I just want
Less than half meaning 49%? I'm going to get very specific, so we might as well just stop dancing around numbers because I'm going to keep digging.
I see, like it's specific.
Yeah, because it matters. I'm going to show you guys why it matters.
Okay. 35%.
So 35%, that's more than 25%. So if you sat down with a table with 3 legs, okay? If I remove 1 leg, can that table stand? No. So if you stop with your 30%, 35%, the family falls. So you want to.
If I stop.
No. But see, you don't want to have to be, and that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to have to be.
But you know for sure the man has to do what he has to do. And what I'm getting is you really want the man to carry the bulk of the financial responsibility, and yours is discretionary. You don't want the family to fall if you don't bring it in. That's 10%. It's a tip. It's a tip.
And why do you say that? Because you say have to be. So it's
Well, when I say right now, have to be, you got your own car note, your own rent, your own office. If you don't pay that, shit happens. You have to get it paid. You know that. So if you got to figure out how to make it happen. But when a man comes into the equation, it tends to be, a lot of women today tend to get real vague on what they're want to be have to do. But it's real clear what he has to do. So if you don't want the family to be at any, if you don't work, if you don't decide to work, whatever, 10% is as much as a hit of an income that any family could sustain one person not working. We've heard of economic classes, right? Lower class, middle class, upper class. What would you think your dating class is? Where do you rank and where are your men?
Upper
How much is an upper class man earning?
$200K plus a year.
$200,000. What class would you be?
me or who I date.
Both. First, your dating class. What dating class is your man in?
I'm in lower class.
Okay. That's where your man is?
No, that's me.
Okay, where would your man be? Your partner, your person.
My ideal person, upper class, elite.
Okay, and how much does that person earn annually?
Over $1 million a year.
Okay. Where would your dating class be? Where are you?
Middle.
Middle class? That's where you rank yourself as a woman?
Oh, I thought we were talking about financially.
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm saying if you put yourself out in the market, and if you had to put your dating class as a ranking, where would you rank yourself? Where do you look at yourself as? Are you lower, middle, upper?
Oh, is it dating as a person?
Like you, like when you walk out in the world, when you. Well, no.
That's why I didn't know.
Well, it's kind of like okay. People you ask women where you rank yourself all the time. There's a thing called sexual.
Like rate yourself like how they say 1 to 10.
Well,
1 to 10,
and
kinda
that,
like
because we tend to date in our class. So where do you think where's your dating class?
Right now, my dating class or what I'm exposed to, like who I'm dating, I would say middle class.
And who are you? So that's the man.
Oh yeah, that's the man.
And then where would you rank yourself?
Upper.
Okay. What about you?
As far as how I rank myself, I feel like I'm upper class.
And where's the man?
As far as who I would date, I would say it would be somewhere between middle and upper class.
Okay. And what would you want your man to be?
I would like my man to be upper.
And how much is that? And how much is that person earning?
Okay, so now we're talking financially.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting into it now.
Okay, more than me.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so over 100,000.
Oh, okay. What about you? What do you want your partner, your husband, to make? You said upper class.
I said middle to upper class.
Well, all right. Oh, there's a big difference between Honda Accord and Mercedes.
Well, I drive a Mercedes.
So you know there's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. As far as financially, I would say somewhere between at least 70K. You can earn as much as you want, but you have to earn at least 70K.
70,000.
Yeah, so
How many children? How many children would you like to have?
2 to 3.
And what percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime?
Well, obviously, I wouldn't want to be required to do anything. I'm an entrepreneur and I do work. If it ends up that way, where I have to contribute, I don't mind. But no woman wants to take care of it.
No, okay, I don't know what that's a long answer to tell me nothing. What percentage do you want to have to be responsible for? Because you said 2 to 3 kids. Mm-hmm. Those kids have to be paid for. What percentage do you want to have to be responsible for their dental care, their health care, their college, their tuition?
I don't really have an answer for you, honestly.
Well, but you know you got to be responsible for 100% of what you do.
Right.
So we can extrapolate that out.
Mm-hmm. So are we talking about?
I'm not saying this doesn't have to be 100%, but I'm just trying to see if you're kind of understanding what it's going to require to get what it is you want. Everybody wants something, but do you understand what it's going to take to get it? So if you were married with 2 kids, mm-hmm. and you want to live a middle class life, upper class life, what life would you like to live?
I would be comfortable with either a middle or upper class life.
Middle class life. The average middle class family in America earns $52,000 a year with 2 people working and 2 children.
Yeah, I think. I thought. Well, my definition of middle class is you by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, but
Earn
see,
yeah, not together.
Single person.
okay.
Yeah.
And see, this is where the problem starts to come in, because we can all think what we like, but the numbers are what they are. So when you're going out into the market, it goes all over the place, because you said you want your man to make at least $200,000. You care what race he is?
Yes.
What do you want him to be?
Black.
Okay, what percentage of black men earn over $100,000 or more?
I guess you would know.
I'm asking.
I don't know the percentage.
Just guess. I mean,
I have high hopes, so I'm gonna say a nice number, but I'm not gonna tell you like.
well, but the thing is, it's not. Hold on. Hold on. It's not a trick question, but when you go out into the world, if you want to have somebody that you want to be with, this matters. You don't go to a store or to buy anything you want and just hope it's there. You kind of understand where it should be. So what's the likelihood of you finding the kind of man, the race of man you want? How many men in this country, period? The number is the same no matter what race.
Well, as I'm a military kid, I'm kind of diverse, so I don't really look just in this country. Like, I like to say I'm also not.
Okay, but if you were in this country, what percentage of men earn over 6 figures? $100,000 or more?
Not many.
Okay, give me a number out of 100%.
Let's just say like 39%. Maybe.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think, because I've already told you. I don't know the statistics.
Well,
I can't give you a fact.
Okay, I'm not asking. Okay, you don't have to be defensive about it. Is there an issue here?
Sabrina, unmute yourself. Hello? Yes. What's your disagreement?
There's a lot that Black women do go through with Black men, and I feel like you're not addressing it. Like, you're just breezing over it and going straight into like just bashing Black women. I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. From 1981 to 2015, are you aware what was happening on popular media, daytime TV, movies?
Yes.
Black women have been able to have the public square, the town hall, to make The Color Purple, Waiting to Exhale, Sally Jessy Raphael, Oprah, Rolanda, you name it, daytime TV for decades. Judge shows, Maury, to sit there and tell the world Black men ain't shit. So, due respect, ma'am, one Black man on a YouTube channel in 2020 simply stating for 6 months issues that men are having, I find it rather rich that you guys are so upset about it. When you've had 40 freaking years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just feel like even that, though, that's not something to be proud of. It's a terrible depiction of our lives.
Really? So why don't you show me the channels of the women like yourself who are going to shout down the women who call Black men dusty, crusty, down low, dominated, beta male? Show me the women use the channels. I mean, I'm quite sure since you found me, I'm sure you have to see them. And I would love to hear some of the times I want to see the comments you make in their comment section saying, you're just talking about our Black men like they're not worth nothing. You tell me you do this. I know you got to do this. You don't?
Make negative comments?
No. Go to the women who make negative comments about Black men and ask them to put some balance in or chastise them or tell them it's not right. I know you got to do that.
Okay, I think that's valid. Like, we can talk about balance.
No, I'm saying, but do you do that? The answer is no.
I agree. Like,
okay, so, and there are 50 times more channels out with 50 times more channels out there for women saying that about men versus me.
Uh-huh.
So I think you're bashing me.
Okay,
You're focusing on me when I'm in the minority.
Men's channels and
No, you're
platforms are
not the
small. Oh,
minority.
yes, ma'am, I am. Oh, yes, ma'am. 40 years. 40 years. 40 years.
Mhm.
40 years you've had. And I'm one black man on the YouTube channel. And even yourself on YouTube, you're telling me you haven't been to a black woman's channel and said, ask them to do the things you're talking to me about. See, you guys have no problem shouting a man down who says something, but you won't
No,
go and
we
tell.
do not. No, I can't. I'm just saying, I cannot agree with that because that's not even the role that I take in my personal life with my father, with my husband. I don't do that, but I just feel like, where do we get to a better ground where everyone just,
Well, I'll tell you why we get to a better ground when there's some balance. Here's how we get to a better ground. Stop coming to men like myself and saying, ooh, stop saying your side of the story when you've had 40 years, millions of dollars, and a lot of black male carcasses laying in the ground. Asking, now you want to have balance. Now you want to say, well, turn the volume down. When you weren't asking for that, when TLC was talking about scrubs and heard it all before, and Tyrone and all this other shit, you weren't saying none of that. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to sit there and listen. Because black men in general, black men in particular, got a lot to say. And black women have been heard. Men are going to be heard because you can't do anything without your men. So as a woman, to start trying to ask your men to not speak after they've not been heard is rather rich.
okay, but can I ask a question? My question is how do you feel about the image of the black man being propped up for demeaning black women? Like, the image of black men is like, oh, black men hate black women. They're always coming for black women.
Who's propagating that image?
Black men, I mean,
No. Who's propping up the image of black men demeaning black women and coming for black women?
I personally believe that this is preferred by white society. I think that it's for us to be attacking one another just consistently.
Excuse me, but who is propping it up or promoting it?
This system, this society that we're in.
Bull crap. Men's channels get struck down, silenced immediately. The stuff I talk about gets considered hate speech, flagged, all this kind of stuff. Men have been put into a box to where they can't even say the truth, where women can call men trash in their titles. I'm sorry, ma'am. You're making a completely disingenuous argument. You know, you live in this world just like I do. And women in general, black women in particular, can call black men anything and get heralded praise, support, and not have to be muzzled or shut down. A man can barely agree with a woman who says she's average and not be canceled.
I just can't agree with that. I've never seen that.
Well, then open your eyes. Because if you haven't seen it, that's sad. Because it is right in front of you. My channel, they said I bashed that woman. They said I cursed that woman out. How long have you been following me?
Not very long, but I did see that viral clip.
How long? About how long?
About 4 months.
4 months. That's quite a while. I've been talking to women for 6 months. Did you watch the viral video?
Yes, I did see that clip, the viral video.
Did you see the entire interview?
No, I will admit I did not see the entire.
Well, thank you for being honest and disingenuous. You can ask me about a clip of a viral video and you're a follower for 4 months. I put up the, excuse me. I put up the entire video, take out the segment, 23 minutes. You couldn't be bothered to ask. See, that's the thing. You ladies don't go looking for things that are in your face. I'm sorry, ma'am. I just don't get it. How you can honestly sit back and think of men or the white supremacy in society is putting men up on a pedestal to bash black women when you see black women tearing black men apart for the last 40 years and you say nothing. They're trying to, the black men they're tearing apart, that's your father. It's your brother. Because see, they don't make any distinction when they call us all nigga.
But black men aren't protecting black women either.
Excuse me?
Black men are not protecting black women by any
Oh, first
standard.
off, is your name Sabrina?
No, I'm the husband of Sabrina, sir.
Okay.
And I'm very
well then
aware
here's
of
the first off, don't come at me like that. If you're not Sabrina, I don't know who you are, and you didn't even introduce yourself to me.
My name is Breon Nixon, sir. I apologize, but I would like to speak if I can. In protection of my black woman.
Yeah, and you can't, and honestly, you were on here earlier under your own name.
Oh, yes, I was, sir.
Right, and I dropped you for a reason, because it is for women, not for
you. Didn't want people to conflict with your agenda.
No, I just don't want to hear from you. Because if you, as a man, you let that run free in your house and don't check that, and you allow that amount of disinformation to go on, we got nothing to talk about. That's why I dropped you in the first place. It said women. Because unfortunately, there have been too many men who let women sit there. If you honestly tell me as a man, you're going to sit here and co-sign black men ain't protecting black women. You call back on the day when I have it open for men. I hope you call back and make that argument. I'm going to go in right here. And see, that's another problem we have too much. Too many guys coming here with their capes flapping, telling women what they want to hear, acting as though they don't see this stuff and saying black men ain't protecting black women. 51% of black men are single and childless, 64% in the middle class. What do you mean about being protected? Where are their husbands? Oh, no matter how you get down to it, if you're not being protected, why? Who's there to protect you? Who's supposed to be your protector? If you're unattached, unmarried, you're out here by yourself. What is it? Every random black man who's not attached or married to you supposed to protect you? Man, you're out of your fucking mind. Men, if you agree or disagree, but I'm sorry. Anyway. Thank you. Shahrazad Ali. Sister Shahrazad Ali has been trying to say this since 1981. You know how you protect somebody? You hold them accountable for their actions. Black men have been held accountable for ours. Men get held accountable. And here's the thing. Men will sit there and at least look and say, I'm doing bad here. I could do better here. And we will do something. We won't turn around and say, you're bashing us. You're victimizing us. It's not fair. Won't try to start shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Start arguing with the facts. Start changing the facts, moving the goalpost. I said it before and I say it again. You want to come in here? This is exactly what I have. This is exactly what you have. This is the problem. This is why this delusion is allowed to go on. Pandering to women. Everything I said to that woman could be backed up. It wasn't based in feelings. Out of your goddamn mind. All right, Wusa. Get my likes up, damn it. Get my likes up. I'll stay dark. We'll shut this shit off. Get them up. We need over another 1,000 likes. Come on.
Idiot woman. Idiot woman.
let me get your fucking shot, John. You know what? I am a strong, independent woman.
Get my likes up, damn it.
Click, 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 and I just let her go. Because see, what she thought she was doing when she was checking me, I'm just sitting there reeling her in. I'm like, I'll let you go. We say this very clearly to you and to every other woman. How you leave your house is media.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right.
I don't believe that we do control any of.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't. Because I put it to you like this. The women who, or the woman that just left, she doesn't represent me as a Black woman.
Sure she does.
No, she doesn't. How does she represent? She has nothing to do with me. I don't know anyone like her.
Excuse me. Because there's something called an ethnic image. And it's what it is she is a microcosm of everything. If I told you 5'6" and knows martial arts, you wouldn't think an African. You would think Chinese. There's an ethnic image. And the ethnic image of a Black woman is the sapphire, the nail Carter, the give me a break, the short, fat, sassy, strong, independent. That's the ethnic image. And the part that you say you don't control the media, well, what is Ebony, Essence, Madame Noir, Grapevine, Fox?
Black women don't own any of those things.
Oh, excuse me. But who's running them? Who owns them and who runs them? Who's sitting up?
Okay,
who's sitting? No. See, what you're going to try to do is play the ownership game. Who is sitting in the chairs on these programs?
It's white executives who make the decision.
Accountability is like kryptonite.
I'm sorry?
Accountability is like kryptonite.
Honey, I have no problem taking accountability for anything that I do. I can speak for myself.
Well, the thing is, we're not just speaking about you, because if you speak about you, you can deflect for anything. I said Black female image, not you.
But you brought up accountability. And I'm not discrediting or taking away anything from what we do and what we perpetuate, but it's also the image that we are shown that we have no control.
No, it's not shown. Okay.
It's programmed.
Sandra Rhimes. Why do we have? She wrote Scandal. A Black woman.
She wrote Scandal, but it had to get clear.
No. They're going to do whatever makes money. They're going to do what they're going to. And the fact is, but who they write it for and who consumed it?
They are the Black.
Who did they write it for and who consumed it?
But listen to me. Black people, they're not writing for the Black. No, they're writing.
Who did they write? See, this we've already covered it. First off, that over talking me won't work. That won't work here.
Because you're throwing assumptions
at me.
That won't work here.
That won't work here.
Okay, sir.
That's one thing that won't work. We can try to have a conversation, but you cannot overtalk me. I allow that with no one. You didn't answer my question, and you're going on to another point. That's not okay. I asked you, who is it written for? Sandra Rhimes, Scandal, Love and Hip Hop, all these things. Who are they written for? What audience?
For the Black audience.
Thank you.
Okay. But again, if we are not choosing what goes on the air, because they're not finding all content for Black people, it's a certain type of content for Black people that they want to show and they want to perpetuate. And then we are watching because it's programming and we are following.
I come from the industry, and I will tell you that I come from the advertising and marketing. So let me tell you, if Black people did not consume that product, they would not put it out there. There's a market for it.
But it's all
No. That's my response. Because see, I come from the sales world, and I also come from the advertising and marketing world. See, the bottom line is this: at 5 years old? Is that what you said? 35?
Yeah.
There was a movie called The Hollywood Shuffle, written by, who was it written by? Not Tommy Davidson. The guy that wrote 5 Heartbeats, Robert Townsend. And the whole premise of the movie was a bunch of Black stereotypes. He was mocking Blaxploitation films of the 70s. And that's the same argument that black people made in the 70s. These are all the roles we have as pimps and maids and this and that. The whole premise of that movie was, if that's the only roles that are available, then we don't do them, because there's always work at the post office. Robert Townsend made that movie in 1989, and it stands to this day. If that's all that's written, we don't do the work. But the fact that we're willing to do the work makes us culpable, because there's always work at the post office.
Can I speak now?
Is that true or false?
Yes, that is true. And I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is, if we don't control what the image is that goes out, because we know since the beginning of time that white people
control it because we take the roles.
Yeah. There are certain people that are going to want certain things. So you're going to find everybody has a price. So certain people are going to
not really
to perpetuate.
Not really. Then why don't you see typical black? Why don't you typically see white A-list celebrity men having to be put in dresses?
Because it's a different standard, because they run it.
No, it's because they won't do it.
So you're saying that white supremacy
I'm
doesn't
saying,
exist?
let me explain something to you very simply. As an image consultant, that's what I do for a living. I'm a professional image consultant. Let me say this very clearly to you and to every other woman. How you leave your house is media. If you go from your door to wherever you're going, that is the world of TV. And if you aren't walking out with long fingernails and purple hair and all this other kind of stuff, they could not make it work. And even if they did try to make it work, if they tried to go get Latinas or somebody else and dress them up like black women and make them look like stereotypical black women, back in the 60s, when we didn't dress that way, they couldn't do that shit to us because we came out of our house looking better. That's why the civil rights movement worked, because they could not paint us as criminals and drug dealers. And when we were on the Edmund Pettus Bridge on Black Sunday, you saw church-going people getting abused. That's why middle of white America stood up and said, those people look like me. But if they'd have been walking around, dressed around like we look today, nobody would have batted an eye.
How do you think we got here today, though?
Because we do it.
It's
self-accountability. It is self-accountability. How many of your sisters show up to this broadcast right here with bonnets on their head?
Okay, sir, but I didn't.
I didn't say you. See, that cannot be the argument. That cannot be the deflection. Every time I talk about the group, you talk about you.
Wait, you're deflecting, because every time you've sat here and you have said to me, you've given me a list of the things that you've done. You have said to me all of your points, and every time I go to talk, you either cut me off or you say I'm deflecting. What I'm saying to you is every person that you've had on the show does not account for every black woman. I did not.
Did I say it does? What do you think you're doing right now? What do you think you're doing right now? What do you think you're doing right now?
Please allow me.
What do you think you're doing right now?
Okay, I'm trying to speak.
What do you think you're doing right? What do you think this is doing for the image of black women?
I'm showing you something different. What you're saying?
No, you're really
black
not.
Women. Sir, you won't even let me finish my point, though. You're saying we're having a conversation. You gave me your talking points. I allowed you to speak. You said I was over talking you. I shut up and I allowed you to talk. Now I'm trying to say my points to counter what you were saying, and you're not allowing me to talk because you're talking over me. So I'm asking if you can give me the same respect that I just gave you, sir. That would be much appreciated. So back to the point of the imagery. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and there are certain people that are going to go, there are certain demographic that they shoot for, and they want to keep in that place. Them being white people, white execs who run these stations, who say, these are the roles that we have for black people. In order to get to a certain standard as a black man, you have to do A, B, C, and D. Otherwise, because there's a ton of actors who are amazing actors who didn't get anywhere because they wouldn't fall in line. Same with black women, the image of black women. I am not included. I am nothing like that girl. I am an educated black woman. I was married in my 20s. I have 3 children.
30 seconds.
Okay, well, either way, I'm showing you that there is something different, is all.
Mm-hmm. And what you just went on for 2.5 minutes was the very image that black women have been perpetuated for the longest. And I just let it go.
The angry black woman, or the fact
now
that
you just cut me off. You just cut me off now. See,
All right, so
I can
because
sit
I'm
there and
not
hold
gonna
it.
let you see, you're not gonna,
You're not. Well, first off, you're not in control of anything. 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 I let you be. I just went for 2.5 minutes. But see, what I'm just showing is all this masculine, aggressive energy. There's a way to get your point across and still be a lady, feminine.
It's masculine energy because I'm
Well, and I will let the audience decide, ladies and gentlemen. When you saw her going off for 2.5 minutes and this and this and this, is that the image you think that's helping black women?
Were you paying attention to anything I was saying?
I went on for two. You see, what you're going to do is let me speak, or I'm going to bid you a good evening.
No, well, we can say good night. Good night.
Well, you can say good night. I'm still going to say what I got to say about you. You just might want to be.
You will.
No,
have a beautiful night.
About this.
Have
you
a
might,
beautiful
I trade you an opportunity
night,
to say what you want to say, but you're no different than the rest. And that's the point. The educated of them still think that they're better. No, ma'am, you are the problem too. Because all that bullshit that you ran down, the white exec and this and that, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry built a $1 billion film industry, still on tropes about black people. Spike Lee didn't have to play the tropes, he played against the tropes. See, accountability is like kryptonite. And I'm not like these women. Oh, yes, you are. There is no other group of women that identifies with what you just saw other than African-American women. Click, 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 and I just let her go. Because see, what she thought she was doing when she was checking me, I'm just sitting there reeling her in. I'm like, I'll let you go. I'll let you keep digging and digging and digging. And when it got right down to it, she ran out of steam because there was all emotion, no logic, no accountability. It ain't our fault. It is our fault. Don't take the roles. Asian people stopped taking the roles of coolies and all that stuff, and they started making their own films or rejecting the films. But the notion that there's always somebody that will do it, it's still our responsibility. This is why men should be in control, because all that emotion gets nothing.
You graduate, you get married, you have your children.
Not everybody gets married. Black women, one out of 4 black women get married. You go to school. Who's in school? Who are the teachers?
Professors? You talking about college bound?
No, I'm talking about you go to school. Elementary, primary, and the majority of teachers are women.
True.
First time you run into men outside of your household, if you have a father, is where?
I mean, other classmates, you see other people, your community, I suppose, is when you run into other men.
At best.
Fair enough.
So who puts the spinning mirror? How about this? Why is it that, do you think that the average woman, the average black woman, her estimation of her S&V sexual marketplace value is in line with other women's estimation of their marketplace value?
No, I don't think it is. I don't believe that.
And you're right, because you take high school girls, black or white, same age, same socioeconomic status, same education level, same parents, same incomes. They've done this study over and over again. And you will have young black girls, same height and general weight and dress size, young white girls, and the white girls feel like they need to work out and exercise, and the black girls feel like they need to go get thick. The difference is, one, because most don't have a father. Men are always the mirror, because we are the ones you get with. But if 8 out of 10 black children, black female children, are raised without a man, there is no male mirror. But the first time you get men are not in church, because men are out of the church for the most part, not in primary school or grade school, because we're no longer teachers. The first time you see men are in junior high, high school, probably in gym or something like that. Most girls start getting interaction with men around teenage or college years. But by the time that the image has already been set. Do you know Spelman College here in Atlanta? The dean of the school had to get rid of all college athletics. Why? Because she had to take all that money, because she realized incoming freshmen, women, black women, were coming to school morbidly obese. 18 years old. A man ain't got nothing to do with that. By the time you get to the place where you're on the product selection for men, the damage is done. How many women today are putting weave, extension, all kind of things in their daughter's hair to where it's breaking it out, making it fall apart? Young women aren't being told to be fit or pretty.
Correct. So whose fault is that?
Whose responsibility? The parent that's at home.
Okay, so then you have these women, again, if you're looking at a household, here's my beautiful princess growing up, my beautiful Black princess, and here she is. So I'm leaving home thinking, oh man, I got it made. I'm a
Who
beautiful princess. What I'm saying is what we're told growing up. You're beautiful. You look like
who
us, obviously.
who are telling? Okay, what gender? Which parent called that woman, a young girl, a princess?
I would say father and mother.
No,
Father.
no, no. Fathers call their daughter princesses, but fathers also give their daughters a reality check too, and they also give their daughters love. Man, 8 out of 10. Instead of dealing with the 20% that have fathers, let's deal with the 80% that aren't, that are getting the distorted picture.
Okay.
Are these
And then
young
again,
girls?
it's not fair, but again, who's at fault? And
What do you
so
mean it's not fair?
I mean, is that I don't know. I had a father in the home. So I'm asking, is that necessarily fair for a woman to have to understand where they rank, giving no direction in the
Excuse
beginning?
me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Fair? Fair?
Fair. Fair.
How many people would think it's not fair that you had a father and 8 out of 10 people don't? Fair ain't got shit to do with it.
So
Fair
what's
has
a better
nothing.
word?
Fair, I mean, because there is no fair when it comes to love and war. The problem is, ma'am, women are going to be ranked because men are ranked. Your
Mhm.
father could not have gotten your mother broke, unemployed. True or false?
True.
That's a judgment. So you accept those. And
Hmm.
beauty is a judgment as well. You don't think so? Look at men who are rich or wealthy and look at the women they choose after they're rich or wealthy. Inevitably, it's more likely different than the woman they choose before.
So the question I ask you, Kevin, is where does a Black woman go with it's too late now kind of thing? Like it's too late now. Now we weren't
It's not
getting
too
the
it's not too late. It's not too late. First off, you start with what black men have been saying. How old are you?
42.
So I'm 51. You start what black men have been saying for as long as you've been on the planet and I've been on the planet. Lose
Mhm.
the weight.
Fair enough.
Men have been saying that since I was alive, but you're just getting bigger. The men have been saying it, but black women have gotten progressively larger. So black women, honestly, by their actions, don't seem to care much about what anybody thinks, let alone black men, because black men have been asking to lose the weight, the attitude,
Yeah.
and the fake hair.
Yeah.
And black men have gotten more weight, more attitude, more fake hair. Now we got makeup, nails, and lashes. So excuse me if I can't go down the path of feeling sorry for women being judged by their appearance because men are judged by our production.
Fair enough.
Do you have sons?
I do. I have one.
All right. So I would assume you love your son and you want the best for him.
Yes.
Then I would assume you would want a woman who values what he wants.
Absolutely.
Do you think the average woman values what men want?
No, I don't think so.
I feel sorry for your son.
I know.
I'm just dead honest because now, but see, when you came in, you were like, it's not fair, it's this and it's that. But see, it always works when I reframe it to your son, then it takes it out of this gender war thing and it becomes, goddamn, yeah, I'm somebody's son. All these men are somebody's son.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's
It's
very, very
not,
sad.
why you say sad?
Well, because for the woman who has to learn this later, like, oh my gosh,
Who's the victim in all this?
I mean, I would say both parties.
Really?
Yeah. You have the women who have,
Really?
yes. Who's teaching them? When I was in college, I never understood why some of my white counterparts or they were like, they were looking for husbands right out of college. I was like, what are they doing? Why are they concerned about this? The things that they were taught to focus on were
They were
money, the
taught to put
potential.
men, no, they were taught to value men.
True. And I remember being taught or understood that you always marry for love. If you love, that's just good enough.
No,
Nothing else matters.
but that's selfish. See, what you just showed is you still feel sorry for women and you should feel sorry for men. Why? Because name me the civilization, society, culture, country, landmass where women have ever built a sustainable, thriving economy, society, and an income. A nation is built on its men.
True.
And men can't even get, black men can't even get willing, suitable helpmeets. Go back to your son. So who do you really feel sorry for? You keep going to same gender preference, and that's one of the cancers in the black community.
Yeah.
Black women look at women first and men second.
Yeah.
That's why you're so at odds with everybody else, and you couldn't understand why Becky was going to worry about her husband because you were told black men ain't shit. Give you an example, and I'll run. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was his personality, everything he was. All right. And then it came out the P grabbing tape. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton. If Donald Trump were a black man and Hillary Clinton were a black woman, would black women have voted for the black Donald Trump like white women voted for the white Donald Trump?
No.
No. And therein lies the difference because white women, feminists, whatever, at the end of the day, realize that they need their men.
Yeah.
So they decided to skip over making the first female president to go for a pea grabbing, philandering, multiple failure, because he's a man. Because you need men to build.
Yeah.
So feel sorry for the men. Thanks,
I do.
All right. Where we go back to, I think she fell off. Yeah, see, we still feel sorry for the women, like poor victim. Well, I get it, but I'm tired of feeling sorry for the women. Can the men get some time? Y'all had 50 years. All right, so here's the thing. I will say this, that, the anger, whether your mother, father, whomever in your family, I personally don't think that people did anything to maliciously, but the fact still remains, we all are where we are. And if you're getting the outcomes that are negative, not the kind of outcomes you want in your life, you got to deal with the person in the mirror. And what, if anything, tonight has shown, there's some people who are more willing to listen and some people who are more willing to just say, project. And we all come to it or we come to it. The purpose of this has always been the same thing, that this is a men's channel. Men, helping men get what they want, and most men want a partner, a woman to cooperate with to where they can build a family and have legacy. Want somebody that they can trust, that when they put their resources, time, effort, that she's going to actually stay there, be appreciative, love, cherish, all these other things, and not going to end up resenting him, being upset, or just... guys got a lot of fear with modern women because of what we have seen for far too many women. This is what they say. It's what men say. It's like, look, you want a perfect man, and even when he's perfect, you still find something wrong. All right, ladies, at the end of the day, if 9 out of 10 men say women aren't happy and 8 out of 10 women say women aren't happy, that's 85% of each group total. If you're in that group, that's how people are experiencing you, men or women. That's not much difference. Men are experiencing you as being unhappy. Women are experiencing you being unhappy. And if you're honest with yourself and you fall into this group, you know you're unhappy. Don't kill the messenger. Don't get upset with the content. Do what you can do to put yourself on the other side of happy. 2021. As fit as you can get and as pretty as possible. These things matter to men. And it is time women start hearing it from men and other women. All this simplistic talk about you're bashing, you're doing this, you're doing that. You guys, that is not going to work. Men have had to listen to the demonization of male speech for so long. No, men speak like men. And it would do you well to learn how to deal with that if you expect to be with a man. The men that don't speak to you like your men, the ones that tickle your ears, it may be fun to listen to them, even feel good, but those are typically not the men women want to be with. More on that later. We got to get back to this whole ranking thing too. Rankings. I didn't have time to really dig into it tonight, but ladies, if you didn't understand one part from the clubhouse, one woman said that a woman could put her standards wherever she wants to, granted, but the market decides. You can call yourself a 10, a 9. You can think it all you want to. You can believe on the power of sunshine and fairy tales and rainbows that's it. But if you are a 4 in the eyes of the majority of men, the truth is 4, not 10. I don't see how anybody lives a happy life when most people are thinking you're 4 and you're thinking you're 10. That's too big of a disconnect. Humility, an accurate estimation, gratitude, empathy, self-awareness. These are things we're going to be focusing on heavily in 2021. For the people who want to move forward, for the people who want to argue, bicker back and forth, and try to watch a piece of content here and there, and try to say, well, you're doing this. I'm not talking to you. Because if you don't watch enough of my content, you don't get to question what I'm doing. If you really want to know, sit down and watch. Watch the titles. Don't just read. And if you are going to listen to what somebody's telling you about what I said, well, that's your fault. When you can come to the horse's mouth and get it right there without their bias and their context. All right, 2020 is over. It was a good year, a great year. 2021 promises to be even better. It is 1:17. We are officially in 2021. As pretty as possible, as fit as you can get, guarantee you'll have a better outcome at life. Gentlemen, get those 60 hours a week minimum that you're working and you're getting paid for all those 60 hours. Yep, increase and improve. You want to be the boss, you got to pay the cost. Beauty costs, man. You want to be able to call the shots, and you need to put yourself in a position for the kind and caliber of woman you want to keep her in spaces to where her feminine can stay there. Again, I'm not trying to talk about 100% of all people all the time. My channel, I'm talking about the top 20, top 10% of men and the top 30 or top 20% of women that want those men. I'm not talking about everybody about most of my videos. When I start talking about high value this or that, it's a segmented conversation. It may have import other places. And that's something else people are going to have to understand. Stop trying to make a consultant a therapist. It's not my job. I'm not getting paid to do therapy. It's a YouTube program hosted by me, and I'm good at what I do. I have the training, the expertise to be confident enough to sit up here and do what I do live. Lastly, you'll notice that most of my detractors make pre-recorded videos. I said it before and I say it again. I challenge them all to get up, live stream, day in, day out, week in, week out, and take calls from the public, the detractors. Men, you need to take calls from men. Women, are you women willing to take calls from men? Because what it seems to me is We want to hear what we want to hear. If I just sat here and let men talk, it would be an echo chamber. I already heard what men think for the last 3-4 years. Now the communication's being given to the other side. 2021 promises to be interesting. 2021 promises to be interesting. Thank everybody for tuning in. I'm grabbing me something to eat. It's been cool, but I'm out of here. Until the next time. You know how this goes. Oh, peace. We are. Oh, well, don't say it just yet. You know how it goes. Gone.